Let's make a super easy book cover in 5 minutes. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today we are going to be making a super easy book cover. You're going to want some sort of knit fabric. So as you can see here, I have this from knit, but you could also use an old t-shirt if you had some laying around. The big thing you want to be sure of when you're finding the fabric for your book cover is that it has stretch, and not just like a two-way stretch, but a four-way stretch, so that it'll be able to really conform to your book. So I had a couple t-shirts here that also wouldn't have met that requirement. So this is just an example. As you can see, when you pull it in one direction, it stretches, and then when you pull it in another direction, it stretches even more. So if you had t-shirts lying around, if you went to go to Goodwill or your local thrift store to see if there was like a really stretchy t-shirt, you could have done the exact same. You don't need to go out and necessarily buy knit fabric for this. I ended up using the fabric that I had on hand, as I have a ton of that. I got this in a bargain bin, so it was already a very sustainable project. So for this, what you're going to need is your book that you're going to be using, as well as your fabric or t-shirt. And our first step is we are going to be laying out all of our fabric so that it is in a single layer onto either the floor, onto some sort of flat surface, and then you're going to be putting your book, so you're going to be opening it up and placing it onto that fabric. Now, depending on the age of your book, you're really going to want it to be as flat as possible. So for this one, it was a little older, it was already a used book. So now that I have it flat on here, what I'm going to do is just go around and trace out the shape of the book, leaving about 5 inches or so on either side of extra material. And this is going to allow us to get those pockets that we'll be slipping the cover of our book into on either side. But I just used some chalk and went around, traced everything out, and then I went through and cut this. So very simple. Really do not need to take too many measurements or anything. And once you have that done, we are going to be serging the two short ends of our book cover. So you're going to be using your serger and just taking a straight serge on either side of those. So this pattern does all relate on a serger. You could probably figure out a way to use a sewing machine if you really wanted to. I just kept it super easy and used my serger. Once you have that done, you are going to be folding those edges over. So you have your book here, you're going to be folding that edge, and then we're just going to be using quilting clips to clip the front of the book cover to our little pocket so that we can make the pockets for the cover. So as you can see, I folded this over about the 4 or 5 inches, and I'm going to repeat it on the top and bottom so that I can make the little pocket that the book cover will go in. And then I'm going to repeat this exact same process for the other side. So once you get this sort of shape to how you would like it, you can definitely go back through and adjust as needed to make sure that the book cover is fitting correctly, everything looks good. The nice part about using the serger is it does finish off those seams for you, so you don't have to worry about any raw edges, any fraying, even though this is a knit, and knits tend to not fray as much as a cotton would. But once you have all that done, you can see that I have my little pockets made, and you can test out the book cover. You can see how does it fit when you bend it. You may want to go through, make it a little tighter, a little looser, depending on how you really want it to fit on your book. Once I had what I thought was the correct fitting and shape for my book cover, I did go through, kind of test this out, folding it over. It looked like it was fitting really well. So now it was time to move on to the last step, which is to serge both the top and the bottom of my book cover. So just taking a straight seam, that serge right across to bring the pockets together, and also to finish off any of the raw edges that I have left so that it looks nice and neat. I did this for both the top of the book cover as well as the bottom. And once you have that complete, technically you have a book cover. So this is what the book cover ends up looking like. We have those two pockets. You can either decide if you want to leave it as is, or if you would like to turn this right side out. I turned it right side out as I really like the neat edge look. So this is my book, so now I can just go ahead and put my book cover on. Why I love to use book covers is it helps to really protect the quality of the book, especially if you're a college student, or I know some high schools also have you have to buy your books and then sell them back. So this just helps you maintain the value of the book so that you can get the most money out of it. So here's what my book cover now looks like. It fits so well. You could definitely get really creative with this and add more pockets if you wanted to, but this is just a clean, simple use of a book cover. If you like this video and you want to see more, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you want to see next.